Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to my job shop. My name is Keith, and today we're going to be making a component for my Leslie drill sharpener. This is an oldie here. I downloaded a PDF that Leslie has online here. The drill grinder 91,000 is the closest model here, and it still looks like the exact same shape and everything else. It has a metal stamp in here, 1030, so I'm not sure what that means at all, but it's pretty faded. I have not done anything but other than clean this up. I put in a rocker switch, and I did clean up the armature, and I might have put bearings in this a long time ago. I've had it since the 80s. So it's done me well, and I've made shift the component that we're going to replace, which is the adjustment fin on the top here that aligns the rotation of the drill and sets the edge of the rotation so that you can grind one side and then flip it and grind the other side, and you're at the right position. But the rotation also has to do with how the backside relief of your drill is ground. And for many years I've wanted to make a new piece on there, and I wasn't even sure if you could actually order this piece in it. And then through online you hear that you can order this piece. I don't know if you can get it right away or not, but I always thought, hey, it's such a simple piece, I can make it. But it's so thin, so conventional end mills and things like that would buckle the material as you're trying to do it, or you'd have to sandwich it up, or it would be a pretty difficult part to actually cut out because it's only 22 thousandths thick. So I have a piece of 22 thousandths material, and we're going to use the Wazer to make this part, and I'm going to take you through making this part. All right, now I'm going to turn on my little GoPro here. Alrighty, and all right. Now you can see how much of this is worn off. I can barely see the scribe line. That scribe line actually has a lot to do with the rotation and setting this piece. But what I have left here, I have that scribe line, and I'm going to be able to scan this project, this piece right here, and then I'm going to import that into my designing software, and then I'm going to create a CAD file, and then I'm going to put it into the WAM for the Wazer, and then after that we'll have it on the SD card. We'll insert that into the Wazer, and then we're going to cut that part out. And if we're really liking this part in our cutout, then we have enough room on the plate that we have in there that we can go ahead and cut out a couple of 3, 4 of them. All right, this is ground. This is ground away by people not really knowing what they were doing, and just wasting away this area right here. This line comes up, so the important part is actually ground away right here. This is basically relief here, but it does hold a little bit of shape that goes into the flute on the back side, but it doesn't make any contact. That front leading edge is what makes the contact. And from what I can see from that line right there, we're probably missing 3/8 long and maybe a 3/16 or a 200 thousandths off of the depth there. And we're at the end of the travel right here. You can see that bolt is just barely holding the end of that slot. And when this is setting, in there, you're going to be up into this range right here. So it's pretty much, it's actually hindering from doing the proper grind on the drill. And so let's go ahead and pull that off of there. and get it scanned and start our process. Okay, first off we're gonna break this loose here. I don't think we need to pull this one all the way out, because we probably will later on, because we're going to clean the top of that surface. But for right now, all I want is that part. Don't lose that screw, Mr. Fenner. Oh, and there's a washer on it too. Good save. Little spring washer. Okay, we're going to put that screw right back in place. Okay, there's our part. All right, let's go scan that part. Okay, this is below our print. We have both printers right here, but this printer is also a scanner. So I'm going to scan from this printer here. I'm just going to lay it in there like that. And this is a regular scan from my Epson, and we're going to scan that to the computer, and we're going to send that over there. I keep these in my apartment because it's much cleaner than the shop. There we go. All right, so I'm gonna grab our part. Before I bought that over here, I took it under a really good light, and I put my straight edge there, and I put a scribe across that indicator line that is on here. There's a 5-degree line on here, and that's the line that you line up the backside of your flute. You'll see that as we go along. All right, that's all fine. Everything else will go here. Okay, you can see the scan, my part right here, and we want to go ahead and save this and put it in on we'll put it in on this memory stick here. Okay, so here's next. We're going to go ahead and pop in our stick here. Okay, and we're going to put save, and we'll go ahead and we're going to name this drill locator. All right, and let's see, it says that's at desktop, but let's go ahead. Okay, we'll put it at desktop here first, and this I don't want a PDF. What I want is a bitmap works too as well, but we'll just put it in as a JPEG, because at the end we want the other computer to go ahead and recognize the photograph. And let's go ahead and we'll save it there. Processing. Okay, it's saved to there, and we're going to put we're just going to copy that, and then we'll go ahead and we'll come down to our USB here, and we're going to go ahead and put, okay, it's on that file there. All right, we kind of just go off the grid here, go back here, and eject. Okay, we're ejected, and this is our instructions on the Leslie drill. We also took this photograph right here and kind of blew that up, and if we need that in on our program, we'll bring that in on our program and help us finalize the shape. But I'm pretty sure that we'll be able to do it pretty much without it. All right, let's head into the Plasma CAM computer, and we're going to use Design Edge software to draw a rough outline. Okay, basically you're looking in the window. Of course, it's a glass space here, and it kind of gives you a little bit of glare, but you probably should be able to see pretty much the basics. I want to show you the basics of how I bring that actual scan into this, okay? So we go up here to import, and our import window comes in, and that's the file there, and I'm just going to go ahead and, because I've already transferred it to desktop, and I'm going to locate that file on, there it is there, open. All right, so it brought in our scan right into this area right here. Now I'm going to say convert to convectors. I want to show the image in the drawing and black and white. I go next, white's the background, I click that, next. The outline, it's a solid, next. All right, there's our scan right there in actual size, and you can see all that worn out area. Also, you can see how it's horseshoed or open on the top. That's supposed to be bridged there, and that's supposed to be a slot closed on both ends. That's how abused this little piece is, but it will give us the dimensions and everything else that we need to have off of here. All right, so if we wanted to, we kind of scan out here, and that's the part on the paper there, and the bitmap, or yeah, that, you know, I can take that away, and there's our part, there's our drawing, there's our part. Now, one thing nice about having the actual drawing in there is we can zoom in and we can correct a lot of different things. But we can also make, let's just take this diameter here. I'm gonna go get the part and get my dial calipers, and then I'm gonna show you a comparison of what I have on here and my virtual tape measure right in this program. I'm gonna pull out just a little bit here. Okay. Because I don't, if I'm gonna be in the window here. Okay, I'm gonna be in the window. All right, as long as I'm holding up here by the window. Let's just take that cross section right across there, 316. Okay, so let's click our tape measure up here, and we're gonna go from that side to that side, and that measurement is 0.321. Now I'm not zooming in and getting it real accurate, okay? I can do that. Let's just go, we're gonna zoom in, and I'm gonna take that side right there, zoom out, come back in here, and I'm gonna zoom that line, and we got 0.318, okay? So that, you can see that I can scan within a thousandths and bring that object into here. All right, now the pixels, I'm gonna close this. The pixels around this opening here are what it had by the drawing, but it gave you a circle. Now let's just take that circle, and we're gonna measure from one side of that circle to the other side of the circle, and it's given us 0.122. 0.132 I got here. All right, now let's go ahead and, because that is oddball shape, let's just take the top to the bottom, and that distance is 109. All right, but I can draw a circle, so I can bring in a circle, and I can type in, what did I say that was, 133. 0.133, enter. Okay, there's my true circle right there. Just to make sure these calipers are zeroed. Yeah, 132. So I can create a circle right there and eyeball it to that diameter, make it equal. Okay, and I can locate a circle right there. And then I can do the same thing with everything else as far as lines all the way around, and I'm going to massage this part until it comes out to what I figure it is, and then we'll take those lines and we'll take that into Fusion 360 because Fusion 360 allows us to meld it into WAM. Okay, I drew three straight parallel lines vertically, and I can see that, and I put them close to these three edges here, and this part needs to be rotated slightly to be in line. I took my bevel protractor and I measured that line that's supposed to be scribed across the face here, that's to line up your flute on the drill, in relationship to the squareness of this face out here. Okay, so that line and that face, and that's 40 degrees. Okay, and remember that line is 5 degrees off of the axis that you pivot, the holder pivots, as per I read in the instructions. So what I've done now is I've created a center pivot just on that center hole right there, and I'm gonna pivot this down until the faces kind of line up. That's a little bit much, but I want to zoom in just to make sure. Okay, now the air compressor's not running on us. I think I'm going to call that square, because like I said, this is bell mouthed a little bit at the top, and it looks pretty square here, and those look good there. So I'm going to leave that. I'm going to leave that as there. All right, this line, I took my scale and I measured that line on there, and this is the key position of that line in relationship to how far that line is to the center of that hole. So I've taken and put a center point right there inside that circle right there. That circle is kind of taking the place of the original scanned one. We're going to go ahead and remove that original scanned one. Whoop, let's bring it back. Bring it back. Undo that. We want to leave the outline in there still. So we're going to just take that out by itself. We're going to leave the outline in there still. Okay, because we need to make a few other lines. All right, from that dot out to this line right here needs to be 200 thousandths. So I'm just going to make a circle of 200 thousandths, and I'm going to put the edge of that circle on that line, or on that node in the center, and I'm just going to move the line over here to there. Okay, we're going to call that the line. We're going to just delete our reference. A circle is easy to place somewhere, and at least I know that line is from the center. Should be pretty close to 200, and we can verify that by just taking our virtual tape measure, going from there to the line, and it's 0.197. Okay, I'm not going to snivel about 3 thousandths right now. All right, because that's going to be a scribed line, and that line angle lines up with the drill, but it actually tells you, because that line actually comes out you know, along this edge right here, this line right here. We're going to create another line. We might as well put it as close to parallel as we can to that. Okay, we're going to move it up to here. All right, and then we're just going to rotate that until it lines up with that. Okay, that's good. We're going to copy that line over to here, because we want to put another one right here. We're going to rotate that so that line lines up with that a little bit more. Yeah, it is a little bit inside that corner of material right there. Okay, now if that's going down there, we're going to have to look at that drawing, because that drawing is going to tell us more so where that's at. All right, this is where we bring in the other picture, and we're going to bring the picture in just as a photograph, and we're going to take and overlay it on here to verify in the other picture what we're seeing. All right, I'm going to go get that, bring it in here. Let's see if I can bring in that picture now. Import. Okay, here's our picture right here. All I want is the show image in drawing. Okay. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and just make simple lines here. That line right there. Boom. This line right there. We're going to move it. There. All right. We want a line. We want a circle. Let's go ahead and put a circle right there. We're going to move that circle just a little bit. Okay. We're going to put another, I'm just going to make a quickie line right here, down to here. All right, and a line from here to there. We're going to move that. I'm just trying to figure out the notch. Here's a line from here to here. Boom. All right, and then right there's like that line. Okay, so let's go. Line from there. We're lining it up with there, okay? And a line is going to go across there. Line that's going to go right to here. Boom. Line from here to there. And let's go ahead and give it a little circle there. We're going to copy that one to where that screw is. It looks like about right there. There's a line. All right, and then we want kind of a curved line. Like that. All right, that kind of do. Okay, that ought to be pretty good. Okay, now we can take that. Now we can size that anytime we want. Okay, so let's go ahead and we'll marry that. Now we're going to move up to here. We're going to circle to there. We're going to scale that down. We're going to rotate it. Okay, all right. The difference of our line of that one or that one. And that second shot was a little bit of an angle shot. But this notch right here was pretty close to that. So I'm going to say I tell you what I'm going to do is I'm going to rotate this line from that position to that position right there. Because I know it's in at that position or into that long. All right. I'm moving this away from there so I don't interrupt that. One thing is nice, you can always copy something and then you can save it. You can come back here and then you can break this apart. And I basically want that, that, and that. I want that part right there. So I'm gonna lock that together for right now. And I'm gonna move it over to here. Okay, I kind of like that. I think that's going to be a good scenario. I measured this width right here, so I get something like 161 or so. So I drew a circle there and kind of eyeballed it there. Now, from that circle, inside of that radius, or that circle to circle, basically, it's supposed to be 0.933. And we're gonna, roughly from this edge here to that edge there is 936. Okay, it's pretty darn close to it. All right. Now what I can do here, because I want this to have nice guided lines right there, I'm not gonna pick where I want that other. I'm gonna copy this, and we're gonna put it up in the neighborhood right in here or so, something like that. But to make these on the same arc there, all you gotta do is draw a circle. So you can just hit circle, and you go right from the center of the node right here out to right to your circle right there. Okay, and now you want to do another one right to the node, on out to the outside of the circle now. And then that'll tell you where to put this circle right here. And then you can adjust your lines and everything else for your other stuff right there. Because we know that pivots. That pivots. And this is bent all the shit here. So we're gonna be kind of reconstructing this ear out here. So I'm gonna actually say that this it is straight on the outside, but I'm gonna pivot it just a little bit, just like that. And we can go ahead, well, just hit a node in the center of that there, so we can marry those. And then we can just draw another circle, and we're going to hit node, and we're going to come out to the width of our lines right there. If we were to hold that at that line, then we can go ahead and we can make this, we can rotate this even out here a little bit more like that. That's actually how that thing should be. Or we can move this up a little bit because of that. Okay, now we can move this. Why not? If we move it up there, then this line right here actually comes back into play here a little bit better. All right, now we can do away with some of these lines in here. Let's go ahead and simplify our drawing. We've got everything that's in there, that's perspective of what we want. Now, this one diagonal line is just a reference line, and we're just gonna go ahead and we're gonna put a node right there. so that we know that we can lay that line right on there. And we're just going to move this line over here. Now we can go ahead and actually, let me zoom in on here. See this area from that, this is the part, okay? This over to here, there, there. That's the amount of material that's missing on the end of this little chingadero here, all right? So let's bring this back out. I can go ahead and take and delete the original part. And now with a few things, we got to go ahead, we got to make sure that our lines are actually overlapping slightly or touching here, which they aren't. So we're taking a look at that side and that side there. We're going to go ahead and move this line in or over until it makes contact. And we're going to do the same thing with this line here. All right, everything else, as long as they're crossing, we'll be able to do everything we need to do. We want to double check on this one here. And it is. We can always double check, make sure we have the snip tool. And if that snips like that, and that snips and that snips there, then we know that we can make a locked line here, okay? Okay, now this one here, this one needs to be moved over slightly. There we go. And now we'll see if we can snip it. Oh. That one's close, but no cigar. That one is. Okay. I asked to size it, and I just wanted to expand it about a thousandth or so, and whoop, and we cut it. All right, there we go. Now we snip off those. You always got to come in here and make sure that you got these other ones here. Okay, and then we should be able to snip these other lines here. Let's go ahead and see. Boom, 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 boom. Okay, that's a dead line. That's a dead line. All right, we know that we're going to have an issue here, so let's go ahead and come in and trim those. Boom. There we go. Sometimes you got to look at it real close and actually see which ones you're going to be able to take out. Okay, now here's the inside cutout here, so let's go ahead and let's take that one, that one, that one, that one, that one. Okay, and then this is a delete. That's a delete. Looking good. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and we're going to trim that one, 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 that one. Okay, let's see if it'll connect. Boom, there's our part. Okay, we got to connect this one here. Boom, there's our, there it is. Okay, now we need to make some radiuses here. And I got to go back and look at the picture and kind of take a look at it. I know that there was these look like about 50,000 or 60 thousandths. We're just going to go ahead and we're going to put in 0.06 and we'll see what that looks like. 0.06 enter. Okay, there we go. Yeah, that looks pretty good. And that one there, that one looks pretty good. 06, let's see there. And there. Looking pretty fair. Okay, and I kind of see the same thing for this radius on the end of this point right here is about like that as well. Now let's go ahead and put our line back and let's just see how that looks in relationship to, yeah, into that. See, it looks like it starts there where it's supposed to, and it comes down into this area right here. And that line is a reference line of your flute. I think I'm going to copy this over to the side. And I think I'm going to save that file as a DFX, and we're going to take this over to our Fusion 360. Okay, we just kind of got you turned sideways here. I'm going to go ahead, let me get my, okay, we're going to insert, this is Fusion 360, we're going to insert DFX. We're going to choose this plane, all right. And now let's go ahead and choose a file, and we see our drill guide master right here, and we're going to open that. Boom. All right, there's our part right there. Now we're going to go ahead and go to the desktop. All right, from there we'll transfer it onto the little memory stick, and then we can go over to the WAM. All right, so this will take just a little bit. All right, we've taken our shape now from here, put it on the memory stick, and now we're putting it into the computer for the WAM. Let's go ahead and import a file, and let's find that file, and we know it's on the USB, and drill guide 360. Boom. All right, there's the part right there, and now we can move it anywhere we want on the table. Now we're gonna take a look out there before we mount our plate, and we're gonna position this around, and we might even be able to duplicate this for a couple parts. But first off, we're just gonna do it for one part right now. 1008. We're gonna take this steel. All right. There we go. Cut paths. Okay, outside. There we go. Offset 19. Okay, and tabs and lead ins. Oh, 79. I'm going to say manual tab placement. No tabs. Manual placement, and we'll put a tab right there. Okay, 2 squares over, 1 square down. We kind of put the sheet of metal in this area right here, so it's going to be cut out of the back left-hand side of the sheet when we get over to the tank. And the green is the cut path there, and I've got one a tab entrance right here. That small piece and that small piece, with my past experience, they'll blow right out of the way. Should have no, you know, they're smaller than my thumbnail. That's kind of my rule that I'm sticking to right now. Okay, so I'm going to generate this file, and I'm going to go ahead and put it on my SD card. And I've got to give it a name so that I know what it is. And I'm gonna, because it just says Wazer job, but you get in on the little screen in there and they all list that. So I'm gonna say drill guide. So that file is saved. I should be able to look at it and look at it on here and right there. Okay, everything looking pretty good in here. We've been looking at some of the cuts and stuff like that into our waster material here that mount it down. And we know that if you continually go in the same spot with different cuts, you start breaking the stuff apart pretty good. Very similar to the destruction that happens on the waster grate on the plasma cutter. All right, let's go ahead and let's see what we got here. Select cut file. I'm going to select that. And it looks like drill guide is down here. Prepare machine to cut this. Yes. Lift nozzle. Okay, nozzle is up. Press OK to home machine. There at home's machine. Now it's going to come over to the corner of the project, which should be probably somewhere right in there. Okay, that's good. And we selected our material of 31 thousandths steel. It says 1008, but we know we're not sure quite what it is. We know it's a piece of galvanized sheet metal. So cut time is only 2 minutes on this thing. All right, set the height. Fill abrasives. Let's just check and see how much we got in here. We're just putting a little bit more in here. There's probably more than enough to make this part. From my past experience, I've had some really long cuts. All right. Confirm water supply's on, and I did that. Fasten material to bed, we did that. Set the jog number. Jog is enabled. We did set nozzle height. All right, cut material, close door, press start. This is pretty cool. Having something that's a little faster cutting makes this pretty interesting. It's already on the outside now. It's already cut the the adjustment slot and the main hole. Okay. Awesome. Okay, sure, the air compressor comes on again right at the right time, right? You want to chuckle? While I was doing some other things, I checked another fit on there because I was really looking at that line and checking it out. So I mounted it back in there, and I just searched the shop all over, and I forgot I mounted that back on, temporarily mounted it back onto the, okay. There's the part that's missing, or that's been just ground off. Is that pretty cool? All right, I think all we got to do is pry this up, and now we'll just take and we'll clean that little blem right there. Pretty amazing. The kerf, the material wasted is like half of my plasma cam, plus it doesn't leave a big dross pile on the back side. I'm just gonna barely take a little Scotch-Brite disc there and then kind of like hit that just to take the little feather edge off. But it looks like we'll get right over there, but it looks like the bolts are gonna fit right exactly where they are, and there's the missing piece right off of there. Okay, this thing only took 2 minutes to cut this part out, and here I've been putting it off now since 1992, 93, when I first got the machine. You know, I really haven't really touched this in this area right in here because I've been cautious of it because it was on its last legs anyway. Somebody had already modified it there, so I was kind of like, I was using it to the bare minimum of eyeballing, and I was grinding my drill bits just a little bit off, but I was grinding them equal. It was working, but this will be like new. All right, this is every time I use my Wazer that I purchased, I'm so glad that Wazer had sponsored my purchase and enables me to share with you what my machine is doing for me here in the shop. All right, so we're making tooling now, and pretty cool. Let's go fit it up on the drill sharpener and let's see how it fits. All right, I turned my grinder here just slightly to the side here so you can see a little bit about what was going on here. And we don't want to remove too much of that patina. A little bit of a, we're going to hit that with a little bit of a file there, and we're going to loosen that, make sure that slides back and forth because that is also part of the adjustment. Okay, and we'll loosen this one up here. Okay, let's just tighten that down a little bit. We don't know where this is going to be because it's going to be all new to us. All right, we're going to put in this little spring washer there. I think it actually had 2 spring washers, and somehow I think this got drilled out for another size, probably over the years. Okay. Okay, so that spring washer should keep it tensioned over there, and then you push this in and out to use this. And then this, let this go back and forth like this, depending on what size drill you have. And that line should line up with the parallel with the flute and come out and meet the. All right, let's go ahead and put a drill in here and check it out. Okay, we're going to turn our bit around. Okay, we're going to come back into our 0 again. Grind looks pretty similar to that one there, except for this has got the double cut on it, and this could have a double cut in it because of its thickness in here. Alright, I took another drill bit and then I made a slight adjustment on my angle that I had set there, and this one here was the one I was duplicating when I went to set it up. And this one here is the same drill bit that you just saw with a little bit fat where it needed to be almost second cut. There we go. There's a pretty good shot. If you look at that, I think it's out there far enough. I got to looking at it and I go, hey, why? Because after I make that part, I still had to put it up there, and we were at the end of the travel. Look at, I'm in the middle of the travel right now, okay, for either way to go this way, and I have this nice edge right here, and I just finished grinding. Okay, I just ground that one. This was the one that I ground before. Got it narrow. And this is like almost a perfect tip right here. Minimum back relief. Narrowness in the center right there. Nice equal. Alright. Now you can see how much material that makes a big difference. But when you install this in here and you got it locked in the flute right there, you grind above it, okay? You don't grind on it. And that's the problem, is, you know, you've got to make that decision on where to grind it from. But anyway, I think I'm going to be happy with this one here. Pretty cool. I'm going to take a straight on picture of this so it's nice and clear for you. You know, grinders like this and other tools, or drill grinders and tool grinders, you touch up your flutes or your cutting edge in relationship to your flutes is basically what this is doing, making sure that both sides are equal. And when it drills through there, you're pulling an equal chip. When you pull an equal chip, you get a more accurate hole. This is basically a 15-30 seconds drill bit. But if it wasn't cutting equally on both sides, it's going to cut larger than 15-30 seconds for sure. If it's dull and everything is dull on the outside, sometimes you'll get a hole that's tight, and then the farther you go down in, sometimes you'll jam the drill. It's time to throw the thing away. And also too, sometimes I've gone over and just as a quickie, I'll take either on my grinder stand over there, or even on my Wilton sander out in the fabrication room. I'll hand sharpen a drill bit, and I'm pretty good at it. But sometimes I actually come over here and use this Leslie drill grinder to equal out flutes and dress up a drill. And usually when I have it set for one size or whatever, I'll go through and I'll do everything in my index here as well. But also too, sometimes organization, you're either with it or you let it slip a little bit, or a lot. It doesn't slip a lot anymore, because I am more organized in the shop, and I'm really truly enjoying going over here and actually finding a drill bit in the spot and the size, and it actually is in the right location, and I can grab it and quickly go use it and then bring it back. But sometimes I'm beep-bopping around, and I'll bring them over here, and then I go ahead and I might be on break or something, and I'll come over with my calipers and I'll put away all my drill bits here. And so I really don't know the availability or the price of this little part for the Leslie, because I've never inquired it. There is lots of guys out there, and I'm sure they're going to chime in on the comments right now with the part number, how much they paid for it, and when they got it, and all of that. What I did was I shared, and no matter, at the beginning of this video, you could not have ordered one and had it here by the end of this video. Sometimes time is all about what it is. Not that this would have been, or drastic, or necessity. Like sometimes a customer coming in and their job. So I took you through the process and how I can actually take something. Now I only used a flat scanner. Now I also have a peel scanner, and you're going to see more peel action. But I wanted to show you that I can actually take a regular scanner, and I showed you how I can import it into my Design Edge software and create the exact part almost from that scan itself. A few dimensions and a few missing links, a couple pictures. You can bring it all in and create the part. And the Wazer did a really nice job cutting that part out for me. You could see it was take from machine, minor deburr with my Scotch-Brite. I did it over off, I didn't do it in front of you, but it's still over on the Bridgeport, okay? That was it. One side. I didn't even do the top side. And I came over and I screwed it right on there. Till next time, get her done.